Do-rag wisdom here, and the music you hear in the background is Christopher Young's score for the movie Creation, which I think the majority of the GOP rejects the story. Creation is a story about Darwin and evolution, and that's something these turds reject, thinking that they're above the animal kingdom and they're the center of the freaking universe. Why do you keep seeing no here? What is this about? Okay, here it is. This was a full page ad in yesterday's New York Times, and I said, oh, I can't, how ignorant can I be to think that I think I'm all alone in being frightened out of my wits about this piece of shit that's going to be descend into our Oval Office to curse us with extremism and hatred and devolution. That means backwards. Anyway, this is a whole thing that people put together. It's a about the presidency. It's I'll give you. This is, I'm going to give you I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. I'll just give you some of the headlines. I don't want to bore you with this any longer than I have to because I'm showing this one thing, but I need to get the message out to you in case you're not aware. We therefore call for a month of resistance that reaches a crescendo by January 20th, 2017. Okay, that's a Y2K 17 20 okay 01.20. Okay, that's my way of doing the years because I like to do a science fiction thing. The presidency of Donald Trump is illegitimate. I call him birther bastard to give you reason. By any definition, birther bastard Trump is a fascist. He has put together a regime who will carry out this program and worse. Quote, and they also say fascism is a strong word. All right, that's very important. They're not using it lightly. And they tell why. The birther bastard Trump regime must and can be stopped before it starts. That's why I've been going crazy with these broadcasts. We got to start. The war is on. The cold civil war of the rich, extremist, corporatist, religious fascists is on in our country. Whoa. Our only recourse now is to act together outside normal channels. Every faction within the established power structure must be forced to respond to what we do, creating a situation where the Trump-Pence regime is prevented from ruling. They beg you to organize, plan, act, and then they sign their names. No, we refuse to accept a fascist America as well as I. Believe me. I grew up here. We've been supposedly the oasis of freedom in this world, and this piece of shit and his Christian, religious, extremist, fascist, corporate pieces of turd and swamp bastards are going to destroy us. So the final thing here, www.refusefascism.org. www.refusefascism.org. Stop the Trump, the birther bastard Trump, the Christian extremist terrorist Pence, see, I said it, regime before it starts. The emphasis is mine. And that's as close to a commercial. I said I don't go for commercial advertising, but that's as close to a commercial as you're going to get in this certain thing. Do-rag wisdom. I guess within 2 weeks before Big Brother comes in, and in this case, in this Big Brother version, in 1984, the version was, it looked like more like the communist version of totalitarianism. Taking themes from that one, the way they vision that. And here we have, and then of course, in this one coming up, fascism. And I'm not afraid to say that word about this regime coming in. That's what it is, a fascist regime threatening the very existence of our besieged democratic republic. So, I do know that I'm no longer alone, and there are a lot of people that are going to stand up and protest every way they can. And now with cyberspace, there's so much more we can do. The show is The House of Cards, and it's one of the many my many favorite political black comedy satires. In terms of this show, President Underwood and his wife are two psychopaths who together form one giant psychopath. There's going to be a little spoiler alerts here. I'm not trying not to this isn't about that show alone. But when I got my Roku device and made my TV smart, not trying to advertise for that device, but it is good if you have a dumb TV, I was able to get the Netflix and another The House of Cards. And there was a long time I couldn't watch that show because of the first thing they do, and which I hate, is animal killing. Now, I know that they're not really killing the animal, but we know that there's been a history in Hollywood of animal abuse, of species abuse. And that could be a topic all in itself. But the first thing Kevin Spacey's character does at the beginning of the show, the first thing, a dog got hit by a car, could have been saved. He goes over and strangles this poor thing to death. You could hear the sound effects, you don't see, but he's over there. And then he says the dog is dead. And he uses this as an excuse to do some political maneuver. He eventually arranges, well, he doesn't, he actually himself with his own hands pushes a character in front of a subway train and kills her. Someone he had to get rid of. He personally got somebody drunk, a character drunk, because he had to, whatever, and he got him in the car, and the guy had an accident, dead. Of course, the real reason for that, folks, between you and I, is they needed the guy on that show that got killed to be on the stream. Okay, now, this is I was watching this show about this psycho president and his wife, because he becomes president. This guy who's done these murders and the dog thing, he becomes president of the United States. It's been on for like 4 seasons. I think it's coming up for its 5th, which I feel very ambivalent about watching. Because while I was watching the show, the birther bastard was running, okay? It wasn't the reality that actually through some perfect storm, political storm, that this creep and his creeps would creep into our lives. This was an entertainment. This was a show that entertained. Like Dr. Strangelove, like Failsafe, like, I can't say like Threads. That's another story in itself. If anybody watching this lives in the British Isles, I beg you, please, beg the BBC to release that movie on a Region 1 DVD format. A director's cut. The other one was, there's another great nuclear form, but this nuclear movie, Threads, one of the greatest of all, the number 1. All right? I could go on and on about that film. But if you're watching this, please get this film out, because we've got a nuclear nut. The nuclear nut coming in within 2 weeks. Surrounded by end of the world Christian religious extremist terrorists. There, I said it. Nuclear nuts. So again, in the last few weeks, this show, I used to enjoy, except for Threads, and Testament, the other one that's the greatest, I can't be entertained by House of Cards anymore, because this is reality now. It's like I've always said, because life, is difficult, so you cope with it by making up shit. Like one of my main things I made up, and unfortunately I've lived with it my whole life. It's really a movie. I'm in a movie. I mean, I'm laughing because this is the face of a movie. Well, it's brought my whole life, and you're just gonna sit there and watch. You're so narcissistic, like someone we know, right? Are they watching me while I'm taking a shit? And they had the Truman Show, and they had Me TV, something with another movie with that Schmeck, I can't remember. Oh, McConaughey. He's a good actor, but I don't like him. But, and now we have, it's like, almost like as much as I'm in the reality of the entertainment. I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, right? So as much as I'm into that stuff, I mean, do I want these people to be my president? Okay, let me see. Martin Sheen as president, Henry Fonda, who else? I'm trying to think of all the names of all the presidents I've seen that I like to be president of the United States. People I think that would be cool, that would be fair. Kevin Costner, he'd make a good president. John Singleton. He directed The Boys in the Hood. I mean, there's so many creative entertainers I could put in there, but this piece of shit, the boss that fires people. Tell me, folks, do you really, whoever views me, do you really love your boss that you want him to be the president or her to be the president of the country? You're fired. What? What? You mess with me? Hey, Flynn, let's blow them all up, motherfuckers. You know something? If that happens, I hope that shithead and his family, except for poor Barron, get locked out of that fallout shelter. Because these creeps have their special way to protect themselves in case of such an event. Because they figured they'd come out and they'll be the rulers. I hope they get locked out and then Barron can crawl in some way and they get blasted off this planet forever. I love the movies. I have this room has a part of my huge cinema collection and TV cinema collection. If we'll go blind and deaf, or I start getting Alzheimer's disease, like a very, very good friend of mine that I've known for since I've been in college, then this all would be useless to me. But what I have to say to you is, I've been watching the news, what's been going on, and this thing coming in is dangerous. He is a fascist. He has the business and extremist religion together to destroy the social programs, make us all nothing like at the end of the 19th century, to bring back the days when black people were murdered, raped, murdered, lynched, like he has this Jeff Sessions he wants to be Attorney General to protect the rights. It makes me so angry. Hey, look at this. Hope it's in focus. They want to bring this back. This. You gotta stand up and fight. These motherfuckers want to bring this back. They want to bring this back. Don't let them do it, please, folks. I'm really